You like to think you know who you are. Kind, fair, not the type of person who'd hurt someone for no reason. But in 1971, a group of ordinary college students found out how thin that belief actually is, and it took less than a week. This is going to sound impossible. Stay with it anyway. A psychologist named Philip Zimbardo built a fake prison in the basement of Stanford University. He picked healthy, average young men, screened for stability, and split them randomly into two groups. Half became guards, half became prisoners. No acting lessons, no script, just a coin flip deciding who wore the uniform and who wore the number. The experiment was supposed to run for 2 weeks. By day 2, prisoners were rebelling and guards were already improvising punishments nobody had told them to invent. By day 5, guards were forcing prisoners into humiliating routines, and some prisoners were breaking down so completely that they had to be pulled from the study in tears. Zimbardo shut the whole thing down after just 6 days. Why? Because the roles weren't staying roles. They were becoming real. Here's the part that should unsettle you. These weren't cruel people to begin with. They were tested beforehand. They were, by every normal measure, decent. What changed wasn't their character. What changed was the situation they were dropped into, and how quickly a uniform, a title, and a locked door rewired how they treated each other. You'd like to believe you'd have been different. Almost everyone does. A decade earlier, a researcher named Stanley Milgram had already found something eerily similar. He asked ordinary people to deliver what they believed were painful electric shocks to a stranger, simply because a man in a lab coat told them to continue. Most of them did. Not because they were sadistic. Because obedience to authority, once it starts, is remarkably hard to interrupt. Put those two findings together and a pattern starts to form. It isn't monsters who do monstrous things. It's ordinary people, placed inside a system that rewards one behavior and punishes another, who slowly stop noticing they've crossed a line. More recently, researchers named Alex Haslam and Steve Reicher tried to recreate Zimbardo's setup under tighter scientific controls, filming everything for the BBC, and something different happened. The guards didn't slide into cruelty automatically. Some resisted the role entirely, which suggests the story isn't quite as simple as give a person power and watch them turn dark. It's more specific than that. It matters whether people are told a role is normal. It matters whether there's a clear leader modeling cruelty. It matters whether anyone in the room says no. So which is it? Are you fragile in the face of a system, or are you sturdier than that? Probably both, depending on the day. Think about the last time you followed a rule you privately disagreed with, simply because everyone around you was following it too. A workplace policy, an online pylon you didn't start but didn't stop scrolling past, a group chat where cruelty became the tone and silence felt safer than saying something. None of that makes you a guard in a basement prison, but it's built from the same wiring. Humans are built to read a room and match it. That instinct kept your ancestors alive inside tight-knit tribes where standing apart from the group could get you left behind. The same wiring that once meant survival now quietly decides how far you'll go, along with something you don't actually believe in. So the real question was never whether you're a good person. It's whether you'd notice the moment the room started asking you to be someone else. You like to think you know who you are. But maybe the more honest answer is that you know who you are on an ordinary day, in an ordinary room, with no one testing that at all.